What's going on, guys? It's your boy Peter, and I'm back again with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about why it can be difficult getting a job outside Canada as an aircraft maintenance engineer. One of the reasons why I'm making this video is because a lot of people have asked me this question and they told me how difficult it is getting a job outside Canada as an AME. And the funny thing is, these people actually have the right qualifications, they have the right license, they have the right type courses, they have the right experience, a lot of experience, but it's still a little bit difficult for them to get a job outside Canada as an AME. And I'm here to give you guys some reasons why it might be a little bit difficult for you to get a job as an aircraft maintenance engineer outside Canada. Number one is the government's regulation. So basically, before a company can hire anyone from outside the country, there's a lot of regulations, there's a lot of rules, and there's a lot of information the company has to provide to the government, and the reasons why they have to hire people from outside the countries where there is Canadians and there are people with PR who are looking for a job, right? So basically, one of the reasons, one of the information the company has to give the government is, they have to show the government that they already posted a job online and there is not enough candidates in Canada applying for that job. So that way they need more help from outside the country. And usually that process is the long process, and most companies do not want to go through that process. Another one is it's way more easier for them to hire people from the country, because now if they hire you from outside the country, right, they got to go through the whole process of getting you a work permit. You know what I'm saying? And which it's a really expensive thing for the company. Imagine they have to hire like 20 people. You know what I'm saying? And let's say the application is like, what, I don't know, 4 or 5,000. Now 5,000 times 20, that's a lot of money for the company. Why would they invest that much money for someone outside the country whereby they can just hire people with the same qualification from inside the country? You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why I think it might be a little bit difficult, because of all the regulations that is in place for companies they got to go through before they can hire people from outside the country. And now, especially now that there's a lot of people getting into the industry, into the educational sector as an AME, now they have to prioritize people with Canadian license, or people that are born in Canada, or people that have the work permit. They have to prioritize those people first before they can start hiring people from outside the country. Number two, no license from your country. So basically, I've been getting a lot of questions from people that already finished the whole educational background as a AME from their country, let's say from India, from Ghana, from Nigeria, and they're trying to come to Canada to work. But the problem is they don't have any type of license back home. I want to be honest with you, it's going to be even really hard for the type of person that does not have any license. And that is because before a company can even consider you as a candidate, they got to consider people with Canadian AME first. Now they got to consider apprentices that have the legal right to work in Canada, and now they got to consider people outside the country with a license and a lot of experience. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the value you provide to this company. It's not just about, oh, I know you. No, it's all about the value you can provide to the company. You know what I'm saying? They will prioritize people outside the country with a license, because they know when you come to Canada, right, it's way more easier for you to convert your license, especially when you have a job offer. It's way easier for you to convert your license into the AME license rather than you just coming from outside the country. Because if you come from outside the country and let's say Transport Canada does not accept your educational background, right, now you got to go through the whole 4 years as an apprentice. And most companies they prefer people with license, because when you have your license, now you can get your ACA. Now you can be able to sign out, maintenance release, especially for bigger companies like airline companies. They will not even consider you as a candidate, because they are getting like hundreds of applications from people who has license from outside the country, and they're getting hundreds of applications from people that already has they already have the educational background and they have the legal right to work in Canada. So it might be really, really hard, especially for people that does not have any license back home. It's going to be really, really hard. And this is just the bitter truth. I'm being honest. I like to be honest with my people that watch my video, because there's no reason for me to lie, right? I don't gain nothing from this. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be really, really hard for you to get a job, especially if you don't have no license from your country. Number 3, most companies like prioritizing people that have the legal rights to work in Canada. I think I already covered this in my first point. Most the reasons why companies like prioritizing people that have the legal rights to work in Canada, because, and I'll give you guys an example, right? So a friend of mine actually tried to get a job in the States. This guy is a Canadian citizen, right? And he tried to get a job in America. He has his FAA license. And I remember he already got the job offer. Everything was clean, good. It was ready to go. So he drove from Montreal to the border of North America to Canada and Canada. And the questions they asked him, like, what's your purpose in Canada? It was like, in America, it was like, I'm here to work, blah, blah, blah. They have a job offer. Can you believe they deny him entry? Because the immigration officer was like, why are we giving jobs to Canadians when Americans are looking for a job? You know what I'm saying? And that's the same process in Canada. The Canadian immigration will be like, why? There's a lot of people complaining for jobs. Why are you giving people from outside the country jobs to come to our country to work? You know what I'm saying? So, and that's one of the headaches most companies have to go through when they bring people from outside the country. Is it possible? Yes, I've actually seen a lot of people who came from outside the country and they got sponsorship by the companies, but for the most part, and if I'm being honest with you, it's going to be really, really hard, because there's a lot of, they got to prioritize people with the Canadians first. They got to prioritize people with the PR. They got to prioritize people with work permits first before they start, going through the whole hiring from foreign countries. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to discourage you guys, but I'm here to tell you guys, the whole reality of what's going on. Is it possible that I think it's gonna change in the next 2-3 years? 100%. I'm really, really sure that the more the demand comes, the more people retire, they gonna need more people. And how can they balance the job market? Is by hiring people from outside the country. Actually, a friend of mine told me that his management team they're already considering starting a program whereby they can actually hire people from outside the country. But I think it's going to happen. But for right now, these are the reasons why it might be a little bit difficult for you to get a job from outside the country. Number 4, security clearance and background check. Another reasons why it might be a little bit difficult is because, especially for bigger companies, let's say airline companies, so there's a process called we in Canada we call it REC. So basically this gives you the security clearance for you to be able to work in an airport. You need the security clearance, right? For you guys that work in the airport, you already know what I'm talking about. And it's usually a long process. And it's even longer process when you are from a foreign country, because now they gotta contact your police departments in your country, and they got to do a security clearance they got to do 2 security clearance. And this is a long process, and most companies don't want to go through the whole long process of you getting the security clearance, whereby they can just get someone here where who lives here, where they has a type of they already have something going on. They already in the system. They already have a SIN number. They're paying taxes. It's easier for them to go through, the security clearance for people that are already in the country, rather than hiring people from outside the country. Now they got to do 2 security clearance, which might take at least 6 to 7 months. Just for people, depends on the airport, the city you are. Just for people in Canada, I remember mine took like almost 2 months just to get my own security clearance. And I'm a Canadian citizen. I've been here for a long time. Talk less of someone who is coming from outside the country as a foreigner trying to work here in Canada. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, those few points I make is just to give you guys the true reality why it might be a little bit harder for you to get a job from outside the country. But do I believe it's going to change in the next 5 to 6 years, 2 even 3 years? Yes, and that is because I'm being honest with you. It's the demand for people for AMEs right now is really high, and I believe in the future it's going to change. More companies are going to consider hiring for from outside the country. And for you guys that really want to hire, get a job from outside the country, and you have your type of license, you have some ACA, I would say the best strategy, and I'm going to make a video about this, how to get a job from outside the country. The best strategy is try to focus on AMO companies. So basically those companies that do C check, that do heavy check, because most of those companies actually hire in a larger scale, right? And people tend to go to those companies and they quit because of the pay, maybe the location, or maybe big airline companies are offering more benefit, right? So most people, they go there for like a year, 2 years, especially apprentice, they go there for like a year, 2 years, get their license and leave. So basically most of these companies like to hire from outside the country because they know for a fact that those people are going to be working there for at least good 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So for if you're trying to get a job from outside the country and you have your license, especially for people that have your license, focus more on AMO companies, MRO companies, companies that do part from A check, C checks and heavy checks, and also try to convert your license. Try your basic because if you convert your license, it's way more easier for the company to actually prove to the government that, okay, these candidates we're bringing, right, this person can actually provide a lot of value because number one, he already has his AME license, you know what I'm saying, which is the biggest value you can ever actually provide as a AME, you know what I'm saying. Then now it's going to be way more easy for them to get you your work permits, get you your place, everything, you know what I'm saying. Hopefully you guys found this video more informative. I'm trying to make more videos now for you guys. And if you guys have any questions, like I said, you can always text me on Instagram at Peter Janded, and I'm here to help you guys as much as I can. I don't wanna have all the answers, but the little I know, I'm here to show it to you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Love you guys.